Hey everyone, welcome back. You may notice that I made some changes. And yes, I did. I I was not happy with the itty bitty pieces that were all lined up in rows and the tops were all at the same place. And yeah, that just wasn't it wasn't pleasing to me, and I struggled with it. And I decided to take the basting stitches out. I will try to insert a pattern here. It's a whole revamp, really. I used a lot of the same fabrics. I did pull out some of my hand-dyed fabric, and all the little itty bitty pieces that were lined up around here and not really covering the curve, I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided to tear that out. I still used a lot of the scrappy pieces I had. Even this is a circle that I had cut out to make a Suffolk puff with, or a yo-yo, and I pulled that out of a bag that I have those circles pre-cut in, and I decided I was going to use that because I wanted something different. Now I am going to add in other things. I have little bits and pieces over here, some lace, some Suffolk puffs I made last night, which they might be too big. I pulled out some hexies that I've made previously. I have bits and pieces of lace, and so it's still a scrap buster. All right, we're gonna be sideways, and yeah, so now I am going to start. I think what I'm going to do is, as I'm starting some stitching, which I want to do just stitching on here, like fly stitch and circles and squares and straight running stitches and knots and stuff like that. But I also want to be adding some things along the way, like this piece of lace. And I wish I could figure out which side was up when I'm looking at it. I tell you, sometimes I feel like I have no concept of right side up and wrong side up. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm also I know I have some overlap so that when I'm stitching, this fabric will pull in. So I'm not going to put this right on the edge like that. I would put it in a little bit, but maybe I'll do some plain stitching first, and we'll just play with that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I should have pulled out some thread colors to start with, and I didn't, so I'm going to pull that. And I'm going to, I know I have purples in here. I have that, of course. That's almost gone. I used that up on the rice bag, I think. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I think we'll start with those. I think we'll start with those. And I may just do some regular white along the way as well for a little contrast. But I'm going to start with these. So I hope this finds, excuse me, I hope this finds you all well. What I do with my scissors, they're buried in stuff. And that you're having a good day, and that you had a good night's rest. Whoops. I didn't go to sleep until really late last night, like 12:30. I woke up at 6:15. 6 hours seems to be what my body needs. I do okay, and then after, either several days to a week, sometimes 2 weeks, all of a sudden I have a day where my body just, and my brain, especially my brain, just shut down, and I take a nap. And sometimes it's a 15 or 20-minute nap, and I'm all good. It's really interesting how that happens. So I'm going to I'm going to lower you just a bit. Sorry for all the movement. Okay, I'm going to bring you down where I can look up and make sure I'm on screen. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a new iPad. Corinne has one that I'm thinking about getting. I'm going to do I want to go that way? Do I want to go that way? I think I'll go this way. I'm not sure how well this will show, but I think it's an interesting way to do this stitch. Sorry, I had to think. I had to use my brain. I gotta bring the light a little closer. Yeah, okay. Now I forgot my train of thought. The train left the track. Oh, crap. iPad holder. I need a new iPad holder. Corinne has one that I need to invest in. I have a question for everybody here who makes things like pouches or anything that you might use a snap on. What kind of snaps do you use? Do you use plastic or do you use metal? First off, that's my first question. And the second question is, what brand did you get? Because I was looking into plastic snap holders, and I had this conversation with Robin over email. I mean, not plastic snap holders, plastic snaps and the tools. The tool, oh my gosh, Martha. Fix your thoughts. The tool that you apply the plastic snaps with, like the cam snaps. I think those are pretty popular, but that tool, I'm not sure that I could squeeze down. My hands are not huge and I have bad thumbs. Thank you, arthritis. So, I am thinking that now those stitches are kind of lost on that fringy area, but that's okay because we're coming to some less fringy areas, I think. So I'm going to keep going. It's just the daisy stitch. Oops. Maybe. I remember to do it right. And I'm just going around instead of connecting them. I mean, I'm going across, kind of in a straight line across, which I haven't used it for that before, but it makes a nice kind of connecting stitch for when you're trying to sew a piece down instead of just using a running stitch or something. Yeah, and then I started thinking, do I really want to use plastic? You know, the metal might be better, and there's some tools out there where to attach those metal snaps, they're a lot smaller. They look like, I don't know, almost like a large pliers. And I think it would be, I'm not doing this right. What am I doing wrong? Oh my goodness gracious me. Sorry. See, I got to thinking about the snaps and my brain disconnected. I apologize. Okay. I'm blaming the weather. The weather is absolutely horrid. Okay. There. Okay, do that and then come up and do this. Wow. Did I lose track of what I was doing or what? So then I thought, well, you know, the metal snaps, more environmentally friendly? I don't know. Are they? Are they not? I don't know what it takes. One of them I looked at said the snaps were copper. I don't know if they are or not. So I don't know what I want to do. I want to make some pouches and stuff where I need to use a snap closure. I don't want to use a magnetic closure. That's not what I want. I have some magnetic closure things downstairs, but they're huge and they're fat and they're too chunky and not what I want. So I am at a standstill thinking about, well, deciding, not thinking about, I'm definitely thinking about a lot. And I tried to do some research on YouTube. I don't know. Mostly there were like, when I looked for reviews, they were mostly just like, use this one or not use this one or not use that one. They were more just showing how to use it. One video did show the two different styles, the metal with the hand punch and then the bigger punch for the plastic ones. I don't think I can handle the bigger punch. So, yeah, there's that. Again, this isn't showing up with this because I have this frizzy, fringy edge to it, raw edge, which I'm all about. But it's still going to hold the piece of fabric on. It's almost kind of cool because they stick up between the threads. Like that one almost looks like a flower. So I'm okay with that. And I'm going to have to invest in a new camera stand. And I don't have an Etsy shop anymore, so I'm not selling things. So I have to wait until the funds allow for that. So I will have to just deal with that as it comes, do my best with what I've got until I can really put the money out for those things. I am not going to go and go and go until I run out of thread and can't tie it off. I'm not. I won't. I shall do this and be good. Now, as soon as I get this on, I'm going to trim around the edges because otherwise I'll forget we have overhang. And now I didn't dye this fabric. A friend of mine sent it to me from California, and she had dyed it a long time ago, but she likes more natural colors and stuff, so she sent it to me and gifted it to me, which I thought was absolutely wonderful of her. And I was going to try and make something out of it, like a shirt or something. It's got lots of interesting colors in it, but I stink at making my own clothing. My body, my torso is very short. And I'm round. I have a bust, I have a belly, and I have a chest. So, with a short, come on, that knot didn't stick. With a short torso, it's hard to fit me. So all of my tops are stretchy tops and just, you know, pullovers, t-shirts. I've dressed that way since I was a kid, even when I wasn't as busty as I am now. So I think it's kind of cool how this is sticking up through the daisy chains. I'll show you when I'm done how it kind of has started working out. I didn't quite pull it together for the top one to do that, but kind of cute. if I had kept going with the one that I had, I could have done a ton of embellishing, and that would have covered up what I didn't like about it. But I will sort of explain what I mean by that. I had lots of straight strips. Like, let me make an example here. I had a lot of strips like this, and they were all lining up in a row. They were all lining up in a row like this. That doesn't show much better, but anyway, like that. And I didn't like it. It was too, you know, like this. It was too straight across, and I had that in several areas on my piece and didn't like it. So I decided to go with larger pieces. Yes, I took some regular fabrics, not regular fabrics, larger pieces of scraps that I've used for other projects, so still scraps. They just weren't really tiny scraps. And let's see, where did I leave off? And I tore them down. So in essence, I am not using the teeny tiny scraps that I thought I was going to use. I did do that on this one, the smaller, well, even these are a little bit bigger scraps, but the problem is I used all the bigger scraps on this piece, and everything else in the scrap box is small. So again, still a scrap buster, but it has to be aesthetically pleasing to me in order to be okay with it. And if I'm going to use this thing, it's got to be aesthetically pleasing to me. So yeah, I changed it up. And there's nothing that says that if you don't like where it went, you can't change it up. Our weather is absolutely atrocious. I think I've said this in yesterday's video, and I may have said it in one of the later flag videos, maybe not, that you haven't seen yet. But we are supposed to have, and poor Robin has heard this in emails for the last 3 or 4 days, I think. We are literally, for at least the next 2 weeks, because that's as far as the weather app goes out, supposed to have rain and or thunderstorms every single day. Your girl here, she doesn't do good without sunshine. I may end up in bed for 2 weeks, not doing anything. That's why I had to force myself to start another project, because honestly, I don't do well without sunshine. And when I have to do without sunshine for 2 or more weeks in a row, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. And we are today is the 21st of June. Now, we didn't have rain not substantial enough rain to really wet the ground for the last 2 months. And usually spring brings thunderstorms and stuff like that. We're just now getting it, and it's June 21st. And I have friends and family in Maine. I'm in Virginia. I have friends and family in Maine, and they said it's like rained nonstop up there. I don't think they're getting any rain today, at least from the radar. I didn't pull up their towns on the weather app, but the radar didn't look like they were getting any rain. But holy cow, there's a front over the top of us that is just stuck here. And that's what's happened. So Tony, my husband, wanted to learn how to use the Instant Pot, so he is making our beans and stuff in the Instant Pot. I keep reminding him, you have to make sure you release the pressure. Don't try and open that cap without releasing the pressure. So we'll see how his stuff comes out. He made brown rice and he made black beans. Now, I will say, when I make this stuff, I season it, and he doesn't complain about it or say anything about it. But if he knew what I was putting in it, he wouldn't eat it, just thinking he wouldn't like it. So it's not going to be quite as seasoned as my stuff, but that's okay. There, that came out well. Can you see it? And see the little floofs here sticking out from each, I gotta bring the light over, sticking out from each daisy. I don't know, can you see that? I think it's kind of cool. Okay, I can't have that LED light shining in my face. It really gave me an instant headache right then. Well, it made my eyes go boing, 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 like in the cartoons. Okay. Oop. Come here. Thank you. All right. So, I think now I have about 10 minutes and then I have to cut this video. I'll have to cut this video in half. I mean, it'll be seamless to you. However, for me, it will be lunchtime and I need to, I think I'm okay using the purple on that. I don't have, let's see. How about that? That's blue. And boy, I don't think I've used this one before. Where are you? Where's the beginning? Oh, there it is. This is more dark blue and teal. It's not really purple. I mean, it could pass, couldn't it? Maybe I'll use that. Had to make sure I didn't have the needle on it. I'll give this a shot. If I don't like it, I can pull it out. These are eleganza threads. And I will give you a little peek of, I'll take a little short video of outside and give you a little tiny peek of what's hanging out there. But you have to wait until the last flag video airs. Oh, I didn't use a very long piece, did I? Well, that's okay. I want to see how it looks. Might be too blue. Not enough aqua turquoisey looking. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to start here. And just, well, that's not what I wanted, but, oh, Martha, let's see. I can do it backwards to begin with. Oh, that's dumb. Just do it right, Martha. Ay, 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 ay. Girlfriend. Okay. All right. Let me start here. Yeah, that's a good place. Now, if any of you want to learn some new stitches and see them explained very, very well, go to Create and Craft with Christine. And Christine is, it's really like a dark blue. I'm not thrilled with it, but okay. Christine is doing stitches, making like a little stitch sampler on separate pieces of fabric. And you can follow along. She's getting the directions out of a book or offline, or online, I should say, not offline. Martha. And she's going very slowly and explaining very well how to do these stitches. And if you're looking for some new stitches because you're always falling back on the same ones, raising my hand here, then you can learn new stitches and follow along with her, and you can always go back and check her videos if you need a refresher on how to do those stitches. So a good idea would be to do a little sampler of those stitches, and I'm sort of planning on doing that myself. I just haven't pulled that project together yet. You can learn how to do those stitches and maybe put them in a book with a note that says Create and Craft with Christine, put the date down, and you can always go back and refer to those videos if you need a refresher. I will link her channel below. So that you can easily find her. What I'll do is I'll link to the first stitching tutorial video. And I have to check underneath. There. I will link to her first video tutorial for the stitching, and then you can follow through with, I'm trying to do this curve here. You can follow her by just subscribing to her channel. If you want notifications, you can touch the little bell, click on that little bell, and that'll give you notifications. And even if you don't do that, subscribe to her, because she's got some wonderful ideas, and she's a wonderful artist. And you can, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, this rainy, cloudy, gloomy weather creates such a havoc in my brain. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm getting a little close to the edge, so I'm going to come up over here and go down over here. Kind of curve around here. I don't know, I may have needed to start on the other side to make this make sense, but as usual, I like to do things a little more difficult than it should be, because, that's just my MO. I did change my channel name. I don't know why, but I had an @ sign and a set of numbers after my name on my channel. I don't know why my channel did that. I didn't put those numbers in there when I named my channel. I don't know if YouTube did that. Well, they had to have. But I didn't like it. It was like 7856 or something like that. I have no clue why that would even have shown up on my name on my YouTube channel. So I have changed it, and I don't know, my channel name just shows up as my name, but the link had that number after it, and I don't know why it was there. I didn't like it there. It didn't mean anything to me, and I don't know why it was there, so I have removed that. And Christine did put a link to my channel in one of her description boxes, so it may not work. But if you're here, you're here. I'm happy that you're here. And welcome to any new subscribers, by the way. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for subscribing, because, you know, YouTube does pay attention to that, and it does have an algorithm. So subscribing doesn't cost anybody anything, at least not at the moment. And it's always nice to know that you have subscribers. I think I'm going to start down this way and go this way to come back, since I'm almost out of this thread anyway. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll start the other one up here and come around. I'm going to trim this first. So I will do that off camera, and I will be back when I've got that done. Hang in there. I'll be right back. I am back. I have finished this side of the fly stitches, and they met perfectly in the middle. I don't think I did too badly. I do need to trim this side, but I can do that after. I'll do it now. Why put off till tomorrow, right? I don't know if you can hear the rain and the wind in the background. It is just, I mean, this weather. So this is the state of affairs of our weather. Very, very soggy. Alrighty, I don't want to trim this too much here till I sew, because it will pull it in. Okay, and the other thing I did was I sewed around here. I did a running stitch and then wrapped it. I've shown that in one of my other videos. Oh, sorry. I got to scooch in a little here so I can, my little short arms can reach. Oh my goodness, I am so weird. I have to stitch. I have to stitch. I have to do stitches. I want stitches underneath these. Okay, Martha, quit getting distracted by the goodies. Let's do some more stitching. Oy. So, all right, I have to concentrate here. All right, I think I'm going to do a circle. Now, do I want to use this circle, or you know what I could do? Sure, why not? I could do that, right? That's going to be part of the flap, I think. I want the flap to be about that big, so it won't be part of the flap unless I put it, no. So I think I will do it this way. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I'm gonna use my pencil, not my friction pen. And hopefully I can keep my stitches where they belong. So the other thing that I have to tell you, well, let me go back to the hawk first. Every time we're out and we're driving around, I'm always spotting hawks, which I think is uber cool. Like, I consider the hawks to be telling me that, you know, everything's okay. I don't know why. That's just the message I get from them. Let's see. So yeah, it's pretty cool when they show up in the backyard. However, like I said, it's not cool that they're here to get their breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You hear that wind going through the trees? Oh my goodness. I wish I could show you what's on my deck right now. There's a very wet bird sitting on my deck. Oh, see if I could move the camera easier without throwing you all into a motion sickness stage. I would. That wind sounds so loud because we have so many trees out back. And I'm inserting a video of a little bit of the weather we're having today. And that we're supposed to have somewhat like this. I don't think it's supposed to rain like constantly like it is today. But we needed this. Like, crops are all dried up out in the fields. We live very rural. And it's been extremely dry around here. So now the birds are happy. They're jumping in our planters that we have on the deck. And they're drinking the water off of the plants. And everybody's happy. Everybody's wet. I don't know how happy they're going to be if it keeps being this wet. And it's only 66 degrees today. I don't know what the temperature is out right now, but yeah, after it being in the high 80s several days in the last week, I'm okay with 66. Just going to do a little back stitch here, but I'm thinking, I don't know if I'll try that other stitch on this heart. It would take a lot of thread for one thing, but that's okay. That's what I have thread for, right? I'm trying not to, I tend to hoard things and not use them because it's like, well, that costs money and I don't know when I'll get it again, or I might not ever find that one particular thing again. Am I a cheapskate? Maybe. Frugal? Definitely. Although there are times I'm sure my husband doesn't think I'm that frugal. Sorry. Very hoarse. Struggling with my voice today. Of course, having the door open probably isn't the smartest thing either. Oh my. But, yeah, like looking at that one thread and saying, well, it's almost gone. I better not use it. That's me. Why use it, you know? I might not be able to replace it. I mean, I got those threads as a set. I'm not going to buy a whole set to get that one thread again. I don't know where to buy those as separate pieces. There's nowhere around me that I know that I can buy it. Probably somewhere online, but who knows? I don't know. So now I'm going to hoard it and not use it at all. Yeah, that's me. Welcome to my world. I didn't come to a very good point. Martha. So the other story is I poke around on Zillow.com all the time. I love to house hunt. Someday I'll find my dream house in my dream state, in my dream neighborhood. I don't know, maybe. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Like, we've talked about moving into a 55 plus community. Where's my line? With this batik fabric, it's hard to tell. And having all the amenities like the indoor swimming pool and bocce courts and exercise room and billiard tables and stuff like that. And, you know, there's a part of us that wants to move in there. We're 67, we're getting older. The other part of us doesn't want to move because moving is a lot of work and it's not cheap, it's expensive. So there's that too. And there is a community that's in this state that would put us a little closer to the area that I want to be in for various reasons. Some medical, some family, just some shopping, stuff like that. However, those homes come open very few and far between, and you have to be ready to jump on it because they sell like that. Oh, my snapper and my whistle are both broken. Anyway, yeah. And that means that we would have to sell this house and wait who knows how long. It could be a year before the right house there were to come open. And right now, everything's so overpriced that it would be ridiculous to buy one now. So yeah, it's been a discussion, but at the same time, there's a lot of reasons not to make that decision. So anyway, I love to shop on Zillow. And I look in our hometown where we grew up, which is in western upper New York. And we have talked about moving there. Tony has family there. I do not. My family is not originally from there. In fact, I'm the only one in my family that was born and raised there. Well, my brothers were raised there, but they were much older than when I came along. All right. Now, could I do... I think I'm going to do another smaller one. See, that's the one I already did, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. A lot of things in my way. I think this is the one I just did. Looks like it. Yeah. And then seems like there should be one in between. Oh, there it is. I didn't see it. Yes, I'm going to do that one next. And then I think I'm going to do the effect that I want to have. Okay. Oh no, I lost my circle. Try and get this centered without getting my head in the camera. Okay. So last night I'm poking around on Zillow. Make a long story longer. Well, it's actually a short story, but I know how to make a short story very long. So I'm poking around on Zillow, and a very familiar building popped up in our hometown, where we both grew up. It was my former elementary school. And I knew long ago, long ago, it had been made into condominiums. And there's there's one for sale. Oh my gosh. Did that bring back memories? I mean, seriously, like serious memories. I can remember quite a few. I mean, I went to nursery school back then. We had nursery school. We had, and it was kindergarten through first grade when they no longer did nursery school. And my nursery school teacher was our neighbor who lived up the street from us. So at least there was some familiarity for me, but I hated going to school. My mother would put me on the bus and I would scream and cry and kick and cry and holler and cry. I had such bad separation anxiety. It was terrible. I was an extremely shy little girl. I had some medical issues and I was coddled much of my infancy. I used to have seizures, so they would come on and nobody knew why. And I used to have to go for testing and stuff. And I was just a very introverted child. And I still am quite introverted. And as I get older, it gets worse. So go figure that one out. So as I'm looking around, I got to keep an eye on the time. Uh-oh, I only have 10 minutes. As I'm looking around, I see my old school pop up. And boy, did it bring back memories, like I said. It was very interesting. And there's a condo for sale. It's been all remodeled inside. I mean, the downfall is there's only parking outside. It's outdoor parking. It's very close to Lake Ontario. And it's it would be something that you would have to shovel anytime you wanted to go anywhere in the winter. You would have to shovel your car out of tons of snow because it's an open parking lot in the back. They have not built a garage in the back of the building. They very easily could. There were big fields behind that building, so I know that they could easily build a garage. And yes, you'd have to walk from the building to the garage, but I think it would be interesting. I think it could be possible, I mean. But oh my gosh, wouldn't it be? It would be crazy interesting to live there. And it's very inexpensive. Like, it's cheap. Like, my husband was asking me, why is it so cheap? Well, the HOA fees aren't cheap. But the house itself would be extremely cheap. Like a third of what we paid for this house. So, yeah. I think it would be very cool. But of course, you know, they're taking bids, and the bidding closed yesterday and all this other stuff. So I'm sure it'll sell because really inexpensive price for what it is. The neighborhood's not awful. Yes, there are some issues with crime in the city, but that's more in the city. This is more in the suburbs. And it's just, I mean, I think it would be very cool to move into that building. Very close to the beach, which means in the summer, there's like a 10-degree difference if you live near the beach or you move away from the beach towards the outer suburbs of the city and then towards the city. So, yeah, it would be much cooler in the summers. But we would get the lake effect snows from Lake Ontario. And it just, that could be tons of feet of snow, honestly. Some years it's so bad that people have to, their roofs collapse or I don't think this roof would ever collapse. It's a brick building, and I mean, it was there way before I was born. And that's 67 years, so. And they were made into condos. The building was made into condos in 1988. My question is, I don't know where all those kids are going to school now. All the kids that went to that school, where are they going to school? That's my question. Oh, I like that. I like how it crosses over that part there too. You got to think inside and outside of the box. See? Okay. I'm going to quickly do, let's see. I think I'm going to start this other stitch. I don't have a lot of thread to start it with, but I think I can pick up where I leave off. Okay. Oh, Martha, you can do it. I did this once before. I did the outline first and then did the stitch, and it didn't work so well. So I'm trying to be extremely careful here. I don't know what this stitch is called, but I love how it crosses over in the center. Yeah, so that's very cool to see my old elementary school, grade 1 through 6. Well, kindergarten through 6. And when I went, it was nursery school through 6th. So nursery school is no longer a thing, I don't think. I guess that's what was, then it became preschool, I guess. Okay, I'm going to tie this one off. Oops. And we'll keep going. Oopsies. Come on now, everybody behave. Boy, that nice cool breeze is nice. Humidity is not good for me, but the breeze is nice. Come on, Martha. You're under a time crunch here, girl. Some days it just doesn't want to play nice. And I have a needle threader, and I never use it because I need an extra hand for the needle threader. It just, I'm klutzy enough as it is. Okay, one more try. Yay. So there's a lot of downfalls to moving somewhere, like where we would consider moving, but Tony still has family there, and like I said, and like my parents are buried there. His dad is buried there. His aunts, uncles, and grandparents are buried there. When we go up and visit, we're the only ones who take care of the graves. I mean, you can tell no one has been by. No one from any of the generations of the family have been by to take care of, the graves. So it's a little sad that we have to go from Virginia to New York. To take care of those graves. Now, my brother from California, he did go to Rochester several years ago, probably, oh gosh, think, Martha, you were still at the farm. So that was 7 years, probably 8 years, 9 years ago. He went to his class. Well, actually, it would be 9 years ago because he's 10 years older than I am. And my class reunion would be, uh-oh. Oh no, look at that. Oh, shoot. It has to be the new thread. That wasn't there when I tied off the old thread. I'm going to go back and see if I can fix that. Yep, there it is. I found it. My class reunion is supposed to be next year, but I saw something on Facebook about them combining 73 and 74. So I don't know. I'll probably miss it. Nobody would remember me anyway because, again, I was an introvert. And I was a weirdo. And I was a hippie chick. And I was different. Wow. I am not doing a very good job of this. But I really want to do this. Sure. But Tony's class reunion, we're the same age, but he graduated a year early because he was such a smarty pants that way. And we didn't go to the same school. We went to completely different schools. So his school is no longer a school. His high school or his elementary school, I believe, is no longer a school. And my high school is a preparatory school now. Our high school, my high school was, it's a beautiful building. Okay, this is pulling a lot. It was really loose and now it's pulling a lot. So I'm going to turn you off and I'm going to finish this and I'll be back to show it to you when I'm done. So I got this all done. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So it's all sort of puffy and it's laying okay. There's a little bit of puckering there. That's because some of the stitches back at the beginning were a little tight. But I really like that effect. So I have the square that's a wrapped running stitch, and then I have the back stitch here and this filler stitch here where it crosses over itself. So I really like that. It's quite poofy and pretty solid there. So my plan is to have that fold up, have that fold up, and then have that fold down. And that will be near the top on the back. So I will see you on the next one. Thank you for being here. And as always, love y'all. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy crafting. Bye.